Today, we're focusing on an industry that's witnessing one of the largest impacts from AI, the video game industry. An investigation by Wide has revealed that major players like Activision Blizzard have recently laid off numerous workers and are replacing them with generative AI. The research, data, and studies surrounding this show a concerning outlook for the future of people in this industry and some related ones. The video game industry is facing significant challenges. An estimated 10,500 people in the industry were laid off in 2023 alone. The layoffs in this nearly $200 billion sector have only worsened, with studios reportedly laying off an additional 11,000 workers. Microsoft, home of the Xbox and parent company to several studios, including Activision Blizzard, shut down Tango Gameworks and AlphaDog Games in May. Generative AI systems, developed by companies like OpenAI, are infiltrating almost every industry and dismantling careers along the way. The gaming industry might be the biggest sector that AI is poised to conquer. Its economic power has long surpassed Hollywood's, yet its workforce remains mostly non-union. A recent survey from the Game Developers Conference found that 49% of over 3,000 respondents said their workplace uses AI, with 4 out of 5 expressing ethical concerns about its use. Nearly half of all game studios are now actively using generative AI. Even if you're not in the video game industry, you should pay attention to how industries react to such changes. This industry might be one of the first to be significantly affected, and observing how people maneuver and how companies act can provide valuable insights. From this perspective, some companies are making shady moves while others are simply acting in their own interest within a capitalist society. Violet, a game developer, technical artist, and industry veteran with over a decade of experience in AAA games, stated, "I think everyone's seen it get used, and it's a matter of how and to what degree. The genie is out of the bottle. Pandora's box is open." This indicates that the impact of AI is not something of the future but a present reality. This is an early warning for people in other industries who might think this couldn't happen to them. One lesson we've learned is to never underestimate AI. The article continues to explain that job automation rarely happens evenly or cleanly. Historically, its impact is felt through dekilling and attrition, as employees who are laid off, quit, or retire aren't replaced. Generative AI, by all indications, is no different. What this means is that AI doesn't replace jobs overnight. The main impact is felt over time. Some people are laid off, some quit, and some positions are not replaced, causing the industry to stop growing. What used to be, "Let me find a new employee," is now, "Let me sign up for this new software program." Understanding that this change happens slowly allows individuals to position themselves better. Even if GPT-5 or GPT-6 could do a lot of jobs, it won't be adopted all at once. The impacts are felt over several years as technology adoption cycles change. Managers at video game companies aren't necessarily using AI to eliminate entire departments, but many are using it to cut corners, ramp up productivity, and compensate for attrition after layoffs. In other words, bosses are already using AI to replace and degrade jobs, but the process doesn't always look like what you might imagine. It's complex and based on opaque executive decisions. I remember a video by a YouTuber that gained around 700,000 views. He described how he was a graphic designer who was laid off because his boss used AI to cover his role. Over 3 months, his workload decreased to the point where he was only doing 2 hours of work each day but getting paid for a full day. Eventually, he was made redundant. This situation highlights the importance of using free time effectively. When AI impacts your workplace, free time isn't a good sign. Use it to search for a new job or career or become more productive and leverage AI tools to add value to your company. Some people believe in doing the minimum possible, especially in companies where they feel undervalued. However, if you have extra time because of AI, you should look for new industries or adjacent areas where your skills are valuable rather than waiting for the inevitable. The key takeaway from the YouTuber's experience is the importance of staying proactive. Ignoring developments in your industry and failing to use your extra time wisely can lead to being caught off guard. That's why I emphasize the importance of my community. Don't get caught off guard. Stay proactive. Many game workers and artists were uneasy about AI's proliferation, fearing for their livelihoods and avoiding discussion about it to keep their jobs. Activision assured its artists that generative AI would only be used for internal concepts, not final game assets, and wouldn't replace them. Yet, by year-end, Activision made an AI-generated cosmetic available for purchase in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. In January, Microsoft laid off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees, hitting the 2D artists the hardest. It's disingenuous for CEOs to claim they won't use AI to replace jobs, only to lay off workers shortly after. The goal of upper management and CEOs is often to make more money, not to remain loyal to employees. I wouldn't trust a CEO's word that AI won't replace jobs because a bad financial quarter can change everything. Always be aware of your skills' value and have a plan for other industries you can transition into if needed. From an AI perspective, different parts of the industry are being consumed by AI tools. Violet, using a pseudonym for fear of retribution, stated, "Why get a bunch of expensive concept artists or designers when you can get an art director to give some bad directions to an AI and get stuff that's good enough or really fast and get a few artists to clean it up?" The emerging consensus is that concept artists, graphic designers, asset artists, and illustrators have been most impacted by AI, as evidenced by personal accounts from game employees and laid-off workers. A recent report from the consulting firm CVL Economics found that the gaming industry is more reliant on generative AI than its peers in TV, film, or music. Nearly 90% of video game companies have already implemented generative AI programs. The trend is clear. If more than 90% of video game companies are using generative AI, it's only a matter of time before many jobs are automated away. This rapid adoption shows how quickly AI can transform industries. Generative AI is heavily used in the gaming industry for tasks like generating storyboards, character designs, renders, and animation. By some estimates, AI may contribute to more than half of the game development process in the next 5 to 10 years. U.S. law requires that any work seeking copyright must have a human author, giving Hollywood studios pause. However, using unlicensed intellectual property to train AI systems remains a gray area. Even if AI generates work based on human prompts, courts have ruled against copyright protection. Game development often involves work that doesn't make it into the final product, making it harder to determine what constitutes copyright infringement. Riot Games, the company behind League of Legends, stated that their leadership values their artists and doesn't intend to replace them with AI. However, they did lay off some people around that time. This shows that you can never fully trust such statements. In China, the number of illustrator jobs has fallen by 70% due to the availability of generative AI tools. This indicates a decline in demand for certain roles. Some industries may not eliminate jobs but reduce the demand for work or cut wages by 30 or 40%. Activision Blizzard and Riot are developing their own in-house generative AI systems with varying degrees of success. This analysis of the video game industry reveals how AI can proliferate through different layers and how companies might act. It's essential to stay proactive and understand the tools used in your workflow. This way, you can anticipate where the impact will be and prepare for the next step in your career. I've updated my database with roles likely to be taken by AI. If you want access to this database, join the Post-AGI Preparedness community, where we discuss these developments and focus on proactive strategies. Hopefully, you found value in this video. I'd love to know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.